If this were not so tragic, we might all be reciting the joke, "Who's on first?" to describe this investigation. Yes, another suspect in the disappearance of Natalee Holloway, arrested, accused of murder, and now released. Natalee Holloway's parents sit by, they wait, and they hope. Joining us in Birmingham is Natalee Holloway's mother, Beth Twitty. Beth, tonight we've learned a couple things. One is we know that Guido Wever, arrested about 5 days ago, now released today, and that there's been a search warrant apparently executed at his house this afternoon in Aruba. What do you think?
Well, I didn't know that. I mean, I just have really kind of gotten back in touch with communication. So there was a search warrant this afternoon issued for his home. Is that right?
That's right. After he was released, after he was arrested, he was detained, he was questioned. The chief prosecutor says, don't detain him anymore. He's released, and then they executed a search warrant on his home in Aruba 9 months after he left the home.
Wow. I'm just unbelievable. You know, wow, Greta, you know, John warns us every time, you know, just don't have raised expectations, but, you know, that is, gosh, that is so difficult for us to do. You know, we just bite on them every single time, Greta, and, you know, I just think that you know, it just has to be normal. I mean, I'm glad I'm reminded of that constantly, but it is so difficult not to think that something could come of this.
Here's another thing we learned tonight from Tito Leclerc. He said that one of the reasons that Guido Wever was picked up was because about 9 months after your daughter disappeared, that people came forward and said they saw scratches on his face. Tito also told us, though, about 3 days after your daughter disappeared, that he was questioned by the police and there's no indication the police saw any scratches. Your thought about that?
Well, I did hear from several people that were aware of what was happening with the new suspect early on, and I know that when the police interviewed him or questioned him, they took him into the casino owner's office, who is Mike Posner, and took he and several of the employees into his office with the police. And you know, I think that from what I understood, that just what was reported to me, that he became very nervous, was just you know, very edgy as to, you know, the questioning that was going on among the employees, and I think it was raising some suspicion. It must have, because he was discussed with us as a person of interest, even with the prosecuting attorney, as early as, well, as late as August.
Yeah, Joe Tacopino was just on the show, and he said that he thinks Karin Jansen should go, that they need a new chief prosecutor, essentially that, you know, this has gone on long enough. You and Jug and Dave and Robin and all of Natalee's friends have suffered long enough with this prosecutor running the investigation. He thinks someone else should be running it. Do you agree?
Well, Greta, I think we verbalized our opinion on that November the 1st when we sent the letter, you know, when Dave and I and Jug and Robin, you know, maintained a united front, that we were very, very dissatisfied with the progress or lack of in the investigation. So, I mean, it's no secret that we've been very dissatisfied for a long time.
You know, it's hard to know. I mean, I've tried to give her the benefit of the doubt and think maybe she knows something that we don't from the outside. But it's really hard when all these people get arrested, released, arrested, released. It's almost like, you know, a fishing catch and release. You know, do you have any confidence at all that they're going to solve this? You know,
it's hard to come to that, and I know I have, you know, people telling me that, and you know, John tells me that you know, I can't get my hopes up for it to be solved, and you know, I think we go back to the beginning, and I worry that so much was lost during that 10-day period that you know, it's just gosh, Greta, it's hard to remain this hopeful after a year, but I just don't know.
Well, perhaps a clean slate, a new team in there investigating at least might be a good start. Beth, thank you.